The Straits of Hormuz, just like the Straits of Malacca and the Straits of Singapore, are examples of straits used for international navigation. No ifs, no buts, no questions as far as we're concerned. It is so. And the position is quite clear. There is a right of transit passage. A right of transit passage. It's not a privilege to be granted by the bordering state. It's not a license to be supplicated for. It is not a toll to be paid. It is a right of all nations' ships to traverse. This right is enshrined in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, of which obviously Singapore is a signatory and has ratified. You may be wondering why I'm taking such a legal and strict definition. And it's not because I'm particularly obsessed with law, but because the Straits of Malacca, the Straits of Singapore, is in fact another critical choke point. You may be aware that in fact if you add up all the maritime oil, crude and refined, you might be surprised that actually more flows through the Straits of Malacca and Singapore than even the Straits of Hormuz. If you think about global trade, container trade, there's far more flowing through this place. And the most important geographical fact, which most people are not aware of, the narrowest point in the Straits of Hormuz is 21 nautical miles. Guess what the narrowest point in the Straits of Singapore is? It's less than 2 nautical miles. So do you understand now why we have to take a categorical position that international law and UNCLOS is the constitution of the oceans, and this is a right. Freedom of navigation as a right and not a privilege for ships and planes. And this is of profound importance to Singapore. But as a matter of principle, and not because we're taking sides, I cannot engage in negotiations for safe passage of ships or negotiate on toll rates, because to do so would be implicitly eroding this legal principle. So again, this is another example of Singapore upholding principle, not taking sides.